Grand final time! We have a best of 7 on our hands. Yes, it is a best of 7. There is an advantage for the team that comes from the winner's bracket, and that is of course Team Skogh. It's not a lead in the best of 7 series, so we're not doing any of those shenanigans, but they had map choice and they have first pick. That's the advantage that they get. And it's a rematch, obviously. So we have Team Dynouh going up against Team Skogh. Now that Dynouh's team sent Ultralisk and his boys packing. I think that Ultralisk really swallowed a troll or two with his boys, because that was not the series that I expected in the slightest. But we have now something right in front of us which could be an absolute highlight. This could go the distance, because keep in mind, these two met already. They met in the winner bracket final, and it was a 5-mapper, and the games were incredible. So maybe things are a bit different now that we're in the in the grand final. Who knows? But there's a good chance that this is going to be a nail-biter. Rules are still the same when it comes to drafting. Once a hero gets picked, he cannot be picked again in the same series, aka in the grand final now. So you gotta be a little bit tactical of not only what you ban, but also what do you actually pick. If you pick something and you play it yourself, your opponent does not have a chance to play it later on. So now we get Maiev banned out early, Skogh is banned, Chen is banned as well. And there's still a couple of people that are looking at this and like, oh my god, what's happening? Chen is getting banned. Well, it's pretty simple. Max Passion loves to play Chen, and he will play it at some point in this series. So if you are playing on the map but you don't want him to get that hero, then you just have to get rid of it in the ban phase. Hogger and Genji, the early picks for Team Dynouh, and immediately Zarya and Garrosh. And for Braxis, that's of course an absolutely fantastic combo. They didn't hesitate there for even a second. Personally, I think that Skogh's team is by far the biggest surprise in the entire tournament. These guys have done a great job in the round robin, and now they find themselves not only in the grand final, but they're also the team that moved through the winner bracket here. They beat our Team Ultralisk, Team Dynouh, so many other teams with like top players, players that played back in the days of HGC and real big names. The way Ultralisk put it when I casted the winner bracket final with him was that they have they have no big inters, so they have the least amount of players that can possibly run it down for the team. So that's one of the biggest advantages there. I think this is a nice way of putting it. But yeah, if you haven't actually watched the series where I commented with Ultralisk and you want to hear his insights too, the games are going to be on YouTube, so you should check out the playlist there. And by the way, while I'm already on the job of recommending other playlists, if you are watching this right now and you have not watched the Nations Cup yet that we had earlier this year with an offline event in Berlin, believe me, you owe it to yourself to watch that tournament. We had an offline final in Berlin. We got teams in from all kinds of regions, countries. The Koreans were there, the Americans were there, and it was absolutely wild. We couldn't have scripted it any better way. It was a fantastic event. We had a huge audience there too. So if you want to see an actual big Heroes of the Storm event in 2023, then make sure that you check out the playlist on the YouTube channel for the Nations Cup. It was absolutely mind-blowing. So if you haven't seen it yet, really take the time, look up the playlist, and save it. You're not going to regret that. Best tournament Heroes of the Storm in at least six years or so. So, draft for game number 1 is there, and I have to say that for Skogh's team, this is a murderous draft. Sylvana, Zarya, Garrosh, that 4-man is incredible. And on the other hand, we're getting Cassia, Deckard, Myrddin. I really like what Skogh's team have. Can they take it? We'll find out. Braxis Holdout, first map in the best of 7. Time for the grand final. Time for Braxis. We got Skogh on Garrosh, Max Passion on Blaze for the blue team. Gavlo is playing Zarya and Hunter Orc, Malfurion. With Bishops coming in on the range damage and of course the pressure that they can build up with Sylvanas. Very strong 4-man that they're running. And they're setting things up at the top lane right now, hoping to get some early damage in with Sylvanas apparently. On the right side for the red team, Dynouh playing Cassia in game number 1. We have Captain Rex on Deckard Cain, Dequaza on Hogger, Johan on Myrddin, and Rotsu is playing Genji. And the jig is up already. They are rotating properly towards the top, and even with that a little attempt at hiding, yeah, it's not gonna do too much. Actually, there are still only 3. Genji can of course very quickly move towards the top and does that, but Hogger finds himself in trouble, and oof, gets barely out of the fight. The problem is that they still stay too long, as it seems, and are losing a lot of hit points on the remaining heroes they had there. So, yeah, that was problematic, to be exact. Yeah, nearly a kill, but as it turns out, nobody died. They did a bit of damage on structures, but it's all about how well the foreman is going to improve here, as this is going to play out. And I love the foreman that the blue team runs. I said it in the draft, I said it in the introduction. I really think that what they are running here is absolutely terrifying. Garrosh and Zarya, particularly after level 4, when the speed bubble comes in, is just terrifying. Then you have also Sylvanas. They should be able to do a lot of structural damage here. Always assuming, of course, that they can keep their heroes alive, which is what they're currently doing. Gavlo gets thrown back out. And now down at the bottom of the map, our one-on-one is also unleashed. Hogger has facing off against Blaze here. Camps are up too. Genji is of course the one with the mobility, so he can use that and just dive in and out and just nibble on the edges a little bit, see if he can maybe prep up a kill for the team. So they now have to go for their camp and at the same time keep the red team at bay, which allows for a lead on the objective. Yeah, Team Skogh is falling behind on the beacon, but is now trying to fight their way back in. Bishop's actually starting to jump forward, and they are reclaiming it, but there's already 32% on the side of Team Team Dynouh, of course. Yeah, Ultralis wishes that he was in this game, but his boys, they they took third. I mean, still very respectable third place for Team Ultralis. Banana Age came in on 4th place, and now we're of course fighting for the championship, for the crown in the grand final, and it could be a long one. These guys fought tooth and nail in the winner bracket final. We might see this go the distance in the grand final too. But for now, there is a bit of a lead on the objective. There's of course pressure still being established by the blue team, but I gotta say, they're starting to have a bit of a hard time on at least the beacon, and if they're losing a hero here, that would get worse, and indeed they do. They lose Malfurion, so he's gone, and that is potentially a pretty big Zerg wave for Team Dynouh early on in the game. 100-0. Yeah, nicely done. You get a couple of pity points over here, 18%. I'm not quite sure why it's 18%. Why isn't it like 17? Or 16? Why is it 18? I mean, 18 in Germany and Europe or most countries illegal, I guess, but like, why 18%? Where's the logic in that? Why is it 18? Why not 20? Why not 15? But yeah, either way, so they get a couple of pity points, but it doesn't change the fact that now down at the bottom of the map, they gotta face the music, and as much damage as they did with Sylvanas at the top lane, they're gonna receive more down here right now. So, yeah. Speed bubble is in, level 4 hasn't been chosen on Blaze yet. And there's the counter kill. So earlier it was Malfurion that died, but now they get Malfurion. Apparently guys with beards are living a very dangerous life here, so yeah. Granted, Malfurion's is a little bit mossy, but that's just how it is when you are, you know, just going full vegan. So there's that. Go green. I prefer the Hulk approach myself, but yeah, Malfurion is trying a different variation of that. Couple of camps that they can still claim. No fort has fallen. That's always good. The problem when you're playing on Braxis is that once the forts are gone, you don't have any fountains any longer on those lanes, and it makes it really tricky to get beacon access if your opponent still can rely on their own fort, and also the fountain has a retreat point. So you gotta be super careful around this. So the fact that we haven't seen a single fort fall just yet is totally fine. But yeah, so with that now we get a bit more action down at the bottom of the map, since the foreman has shifted position, had to defend against the Zerg wave and then just stayed down here. And they are destroying the entire wall super quickly. So now we have it with Garrosh getting killed. Yeah, nice. So Dynouh's team is again able to get some kills in there. But Rutsu, yeah, he's still alive, gets the heals, gets the shield, protected, and they're going for another one. Hunter Hawk also falls. Yeah, look at Team Dynouh. They're like, well, we might not have the push power just now, but we can definitely kill you one after another. So, yeah, nicely done. They're building up momentum. Johan got nearly crushed, but made it out with Muradin. And now they can push in here. And Bishops, the tactical pause. Look at that. Bishops is sitting there as like, all right, boys, we got to think this through for a second. So if that is not a 3-2-3 moment, then I don't know what is. But I agree. They're in trouble. They really are. I love the format that they were running, but Dynouh and his team, they are just murdering them. They got 3 kills thus far. They got the first objective. They destroyed the wall down at the bottom now. And we have 23,000 damage on Cassia alone. Compare that quickly to what we're seeing from the blue team. So, as long as they don't lose the fort, they're still fine. But they definitely have to do a bit more than what they're currently doing in order to reclaim their position in the game. And apparently, I can only assume that they have some issues with voice, maybe, because there's nobody that's really dropping or anything. But with them now pausing the game again, it seems that they're having some connection issues either on Discord or something else is happening. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe somebody spilled a coffee on the keyboard or something like that. Like, I don't know. But yeah, happens. Hasn't happened to me, honestly, but yeah, kind of happens. I mean, to be fair, I always have like one of these shakers with water on my desk, but there's always a lid on top of that. The one thing that's not going to happen to me is that I'm going to drown my keyboard. So yeah, that's not going to be a thing. Very resilient against this. But again, if you have a cat or something, I don't know, maybe you have like a shitty pet or whatever, and it jumps on the desk, you know, kicks it over. Cats sometimes do that. If you're not nice to them, then they are coming in for revenge. And they will pick the perfect moment. So that could have been the case too. My money is on audio issues, but you never know. Either way, level 9 coming in soon for them. And yeah, there's still the chance to turn this around at the bottom of the map a little bit. So on the kills, they're not looking too hot just now. But they have that 4-man with Zarya Garrosh that they can still use. And now at least the game has stabilized a bit in the sense that we have similar experience, similar structural damage, and they can still make a couple of plays here. But they gotta get some of those kills, so got them at least low. Johan eats the damage, and Muradin jumps in again, hits the Storm Bolt. Skogh trying to get away there. But the position is claimed once more by Team Dynouh, and they have the double control on the beacon as Blaze is rotating over down to the bottom. Now it's retaken pretty quickly, but they are at 14 points now. And yeah, I don't know. I'm honestly a little bit worried about Skogh's team, because it seems that the warm-up against Team Ultralisk did a lot for Team Dynouh. Looking much, much better now all of a sudden, and by now they have the double beacon control again. They're dominant on the objective, and they now have level 10 abilities, and guess who doesn't? Yes, it's the blue team. They don't have heroics. So here comes the Valkyrie. They hit Malfurion. That's exactly the one that you want, the old geezer, and he is gone. So Malf is down, and guess what we're gonna get next? We're gonna get another 100-0 Zerg wave for the red team, and this time they're gonna take forts. I mean, 100%. This time they are going to take a few forts down. There is just no way that's not gonna happen. They might even steal the camp here. Already Skogh in trouble. And with trouble, I mean he's dead. He ran out of hit points. It happens, but yeah. So 5 kills to 1. Both teams now on level 10. But unless they're inting now and getting a bit too cocky here, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. So yeah, that top fort is obviously dead. That's gone. Piece of rubble, and that's it. And now they can also go down and take this 1-2, which they honestly should. And there's Rutsu already, so 2 forts to be destroyed over on the right side. There was a significant amount of damage that was at least still done because the blue team took out the wall earlier, but it still didn't drop the fort. So if they are pushing in at the bottom left a bit more to try and take this one on too, then both forts would be eliminated, and that means, as explained earlier, that it's very difficult to reach the beacon for them. But the team is just getting kills. Malfurion is getting suckered in again. Now, haha, joke's on you, because he still had his ult and he went straight in for his Twilight Dream. But nobody died. The damage was already gone. It would have been pretty cool though, because he hit 4. If they could have turned that based on Malfurion being hit by the Valkyrie, that would have been glorious. But it didn't happen, and now it's 8 kills to 1. And yep, here we go. There's the next attack coming. They're starting straight in for the fort. This one is also eliminated. And this is a pretty comfortable position for Team Dynouh to be in. They had a great showing in the losers bracket final. They looked great. They looked fantastic. And now they're continuing with that dominance in the grand final on the first map and are just doing work. 29,000 damage for Sylvanas now. She's starting to catch up with Cassia a little bit. Still trailing though. And yeah, Kamsa of course still up. He could go boss too. There's a leading experience now of more than a level for the red team. So things are definitely working in their favor and will result in a talent advantage. And they could use that to try and be a bit more aggressive than if they wanted to. It's going to take the blue team some time to really catch up on all of this. So with that, on the left, we have another camp taken, and apparently they're throwing a little bit of a Hail Mary here. They're willing to go for the boss and try to sneak that in, maybe force the fight before 13. Good luck with that, because that talent is so close now for Team Dynouh that they are willing to slow this down a bit. They're even moving in from the side with Genji to get those experience points, and now they have them. Particularly Muradin is benefiting from that, since he has the synergy with his level 4 talent now, thanks to Healing Static. And here comes the fight. Boss attacks, they're coming in, hitting hard, and Garrosh goes down. Yeah, this is a bit of a nightmare, but at least their Kane is gone, so all of a sudden, they got a kill, but it's just not going to be enough because 3 heroes are dead on the blue team side and the boss is now taken too. This is really, really bad news, of course, for Team Skogh. I mean, that fight initially, you can argue, started maybe off well when they took the support out. It's always nice when your opponent doesn't have sustain anymore. But then they went for the boss after they took 3 hits in. Now they have double control on the beacon again. Hogger is already escorting the boss through up at the top, so they're going to soften up the wall no matter what happens here. And very likely they will get the 3rd objective in a row. Things are just unfolding magnificently for Team Dynouh. This looked great. Mind control, of course, on Sylvanas might make a bit of a difference if they get a good hit here, but you can see where this is headed. They're nibbling at the bottom wall a bit, trying to open this up so that with the Zerg wave they can push straight for the keep. At the top, defense still happened, but no, you really want to keep those boys alive now. Yeah, didn't go for bunker, but the Stormbolt hits Garrosh in the face. Now, this is only damaging so much because he's already ugly as hell, so that Stormbolt isn't going to do as much damage, at least not aesthetically. But he lost a couple of hit points and had to retreat here and wait for the heals to come in. And now we have that Zerg wave coming too. So, yeah, that's the next one. Zerg wave coming in, that's the next big hit. Muradin gets hit. Yeah, Malfurion already using his Twilight Dream too. Lots of ults being used, and Muradin is down. Muradin is gone, so this might be an opportunity, but they lose Sylvanas. That's their main damage source gone. Genji's also dropped. Oh boy, 3 versus 4. That keep is down. But I suppose that at least for now, Team Skogh was able to save their core. Or were they? Because Dynouh hasn't given up on this yet. They're still looking at it, and that shield is disappearing extremely quickly. There's a lot of defense to be done if Skogh wants to save the day. They're going to take a lot of damage here, and they might lose the game right here, right now. Things are not looking good, to say the least. Game number 1 in the grand final might go to Team Dynouh, and it does. GG, as Team Dynouh takes the lead in the best of 7 series. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Tomb of the Spider Queen, game number 2. Well, Dynouh's team, they are not kidding today, are they? They came in swinging, took Skogh's team down on Braxis fairly quickly, and I gotta say, well done. They have, there's always the argument, you know, if you are a team that is already in the grand final, maybe Skogh and his boys, they haven't warmed up properly, like, I don't know. Dynouh, of course, they had to go through a series in the losers bracket before they ended up here, but you can always say, hey, this is actually what gave them a bit of a warm-up, so now they're, you know, in the zone, and they had a great showing against Team Ultralisk. But I gotta still admit that I did not expect them to have such an easy time in the first game of the series. Particularly since Skogh had map choice and also first pick. And I thought that draft was quite solid in the format in particular. That Zarya and Garrosh combo was something that they instantly locked in. and normally it performs fairly well here, but the counter from Dynouh's team was exceptionally well executed, so kudos to them. Vala gets banned. We're on Tomb of the Spider Queen now as our second map. And of course, we have a couple of tanks just in general that really reign supreme here. Oftentimes we're talking Diablo here, we're talking Johanna. You want to have the wave clear to Junkrat for interrupts. You can pick him as well. Maiev becoming an option for the teams too. Well, or not, because there's the ban hammer right there. After Tyrael got banned though, what is the next one? And again, just to remind you, A, this is a best of 7. B, heroes can only be played once. So this isn't full Meta Madness. Obviously, the Meta Madness series that I'm running is also relying on pre-bans. There are heroes that are banned for the entire tournament that can't be picked by anybody. And then in addition to that, you have this rule here. But this is a bit of a mix that makes things just a bit more interesting, but the games don't go completely off the rails that quickly. But when you introduce a rule where every hero can only be played once within a series, it makes it more interesting for the audience. The players have to also really think about, okay, how do we draft this now? Do we maybe pick a hero for ourselves that we otherwise would have left open a bit? If you know that your opponent has some preference picks, Hanzo for Bishops, Hanzo for Nano, Chromie, you know, all of these guys. Ultralis, good example. People usually target him with bans in drafts, but now he can also pick a hero away and the hero can't be played again by him later. Since this is a best of 7, if it goes the distance, there's definitely a chance that we're going to get some really interesting picks. But when we're talking about game number 2, game 3, game 4, normally the hero pools are still so deep that you don't really struggle too much there. So Hanzo gets taken first. Not that much of a shock, honestly, considering that Bishops is really a monster on Hanzo, known for him too. If they don't go for Hanzo first pick, then chances are that he's taken away. But we have Johanna and we have Rhaegar. So I highlighted Johanna a bit earlier. She's a great tank on Tomb of the Spider Queen because of all the wave clear that she brings. So she is easily able to control those lanes. And now with Rhaegar and the Lightning Shield, you have a bit more damage on that too. Varian and Urel. Now that immediately makes me think Skogh, of course, as a follow-up. With Malfurion already gone, Skogh would be a choice that would work quite well here. And I could see a ban from Team Dynouh against him if they're worried about that in any way, shape or form. But they're more worried about Chromie. So it's not the follow-up with the lurking arm that they're currently looking at, but instead they're saying, well, burst damage is really where the taunt shines, so let's keep our eyes on Chromie, get her out. We don't want to have any fake dragons in that game. Chromie has always been a pretender, and some people just don't like that. So if you're looking for more honest and trustworthy people to join your game, then Chromie is obviously somebody that would be immediately out, and that's why they're getting rid of her here. Makes perfect sense to me. Hashtag not a dragon. Medivh also banned. Medivh is really nice when you're going up against Varian, because whenever... It depends a little bit on what they're comboing it off with, but generally speaking, whenever you have the taunt come in, Medivh can either provide a portal and help the target to escape, or if need be, then really throw out the shield too and be like, hey, you're not gonna die right now. Jaina for some extra wave clear and, of course, burst damage. Takes also another option away from Team Skogh for burst damage that they would want to use themselves after a Varian taunt. And yes, for all the Plastic League players out there, it is going to be taunt. We're not going to get meme strike, and we're not going to get smashy smash smash. So yeah, I'm sorry. it is going to be taunt. Pretty much taunt is the only thing in competitive play. I would say out of 1,000 games, you get one where taunt isn't played, and that's a troll game. But there's Skogh. So yeah, I talked about him earlier. I expected him as a follow-up, and I thought that he might even be banned, but he didn't. Instead, Chromie was banned. Therefore, Skuldana wave clear. Karrigan is in too. And that sets us up for game number 2 in the best of 7. So, can Team Skogh fight back now, or are we gonna get Team Dynouh with a 2-0 lead? Let's find out. Tomb of the Spider Queen. Prepare yourself. Game number 2. Skogh on the left with Varian. The blue team trying to catch up. Max Passion on Urel, Bishops on Hanzo. We get Hunter Orc on Skogh and Gavlo on Gul'dan. On the right side of the map, it is Team Dynouh. Dynouh himself with Jaina. Okay, Captain Blondie with Captain Rex on Rhaegar. We got Johan on Johanna. And we get Rutzo with Kerrigan as the Quasar relies on Leoric in game number 2. So, let's go! Level 1, the Fingers of Frost. Yep. Staying frosty over here. The chills are already there. I like the mount, the Quasar. You know, I personally, when you go for the Ice Giant, I really like the blue carpet a little bit more if you're already not going money pick. But I gotta say that if he goes full wolf, that's not too bad either. There's at least a little bit of skin energy to be seen. Yeah, and also a nice attack against Jojo. Good stun. Oh, and Johan gets out. But already you can really tell that Varian is trying to be a bit aggressive on this one and is starting to jump in, force the issue, prep the rest of the team. And the combo in particular with Varian and Skogh is very powerful and very, very dangerous. So yeah, huge problem. But we now have, in addition to that, damage coming in from Jaina. She's obviously looking to complete the baseline quest so that she gets the ice block. Bottom of the map is established by now. We got Leo against Max Passion, so against Urel. And besides that, we're waiting for level 4 and to see if Skogh can maybe set up the team a bit for a couple of kills. Fellflame build, by the way. So he's not going for the Saki build and is also not going for the full Ruinous Affliction synergy, but instead we're getting a Fellflame focus from Gul'dan. So pretty much, there's 2.5 builds that he can play these days, more or less, when we're talking about it. But yeah, they're timing their camp, trying to time it so that this one is already going to be in tower range and that they can defend a little bit easier. So the problem for the red team was they picked theirs a bit early, and this is just perfect in order to defend. So it's going to make things much, much easier for them, as both of the teams are still trying to get themselves a couple of gems. This one easily defended, and now they can use their own bruiser camp to push this a bit further. And here comes level 4, and well, what a shock. It is Taunt. Who would have thought? Comes in, starts to taunt Johanna. Yeah. And that allows at least Gul'dan to get some easy damage in, which immediately happened. So, yeah, Gul'dan is really nice for the wave clear in this case now. Has a lot of good AoE that he can bring to the table. You can just like body them with that. We got the Consume Soul on level 4, Hand of Freedom for the American Space Goat at the bottom. So Max Passion is still holding his own against Leoric here. But there's not really too much happening. Again, the team are trying to dominate the rotation between middle and top. We have gems collected from both sides. Nobody has turned anything in just yet. But maybe now an opportunity, as Bishops was a bit far out, but he is able to jump out. Jaina not able to get a connect, and they are walking away from this. So yeah, good for them. Now, with that said and done, maybe a chance to turn... Ooh, there's the taunt, alright. And the follow-up from Hunter Orc was there a second later, but it was just not strong enough to get the kill yet. Lots of interrupt potential, by the way, too, particularly with Bishops. Just firing a couple of Sky Arrows out can do a lot here. 28 gems have now been turned in by the red team, so they have taken a slight lead on the objective. We get the Paralyzing Rage now for Leoric. The Sharpened Blades on Kerrigan. Do you think she actually sharpens her blades herself, or does somebody sharpen them for her? I would assume that if you're Kerrigan, you have somebody sharpen the blades for you. But then it has to be someone that you trust, right? Because if not, then and they don't sharpen the blades, then the blades aren't sharp, and then you just might die and might not get it. Like Johanna right now, you know, she got killed there. There's the taunt, there's the follow-up, and then Jojo is gone. But yep, that's the first blood in the game, and the sniper comp so far works for them. Obviously a little bit too early to tell, but at least they got first blood, you know. So yeah, there's that. Blue Web Beavers are also descending first, thanks to them getting that kill and forcing them back. So now they can do some damage here. And you can see what's possible on those walls, if they can maybe even go for a fort. But in order to get a fort destroyed, they definitely need a kill or two. They won't be able to do that without taking some heroes down on the other side. So, yeah. With that, we now also get the Grounded Totem, got Conviction. And yeah, defense in the middle, that one's going to be pretty easy. Again, you got Dynouh on Jaina, they can burn this down fairly easily. Gul'dan at the top, now he can do quite a bit there. The problem is that he also has to be careful because they're going to rotate up for him, and Karrigan is now already here. Main team goes down to the bottom of the map. They're not getting a whole lot done here. Let's be honest about this for just a second. A couple of walls is the most thing that they can destroy, and even there I would be questioning how much they can do. Nice arrows though from Hanzo. Good damage here from Bishops. That actually changed the tide of the battle a bit and forced the red team back. So Bishops again showcasing why he is so powerful on that hero and why so many teams try to get rid of Hanzo when they're playing against them. That first pick comes in handy. Hanzo completes his quest now as well, and they dropped that, yeah, they dropped that fort down to, let's say, 70% of its HP. So, there's at least that. Not really a big lead in experience though. Still is only this one additional kill that they got earlier. Now, all the way up at the top, Rutsu still pushing with Karrigan, push this out, the camps are up again and they're going for this one now. On each side, over on the left and the right, we have that happening. Lionheart is in after the Lion's Maw. It's actually kind of funny when you think about it. With all of that lion shit that Varian has going on for themselves, you would assume that at some point he would have like an ult or something that turns him into a lion or whatnot. Or like gets a lion unleashed, something like that. Could be working a bit like Karrigan's Ultralisk. She doesn't even need that to take Hanzo down though. And there's the Ancestral. Level 10 came just in time for the ult, and that's the kill they needed. Ah, oh, nice Entomb. Where's that ring? Ring, ding, and dong. Goodbye, Varian. So he's gone too, and look at that timing. Ah, it is a work of art. Beautiful. They get the Web Weavers on the ground just as Varian dies. This is about the best position that you could possibly be in. First, you get level 10 in the middle of the fight and can immediately use it. Then, at the same time, you're killing two heroes and can heavily follow up with Web Weavers. So they're going to get a fort for sure. Top lane, Jaina, she is going to drop it. And they might get a bit more damage done on structures on the rest of the map. So that one was extremely good. So well played here, seriously. Great follow-ups, good coordination, and yeah, communication is absolutely on point on their end. So they got 2 kills, a bit ahead now in experience and in kills too. And yeah, that top side, one tower is gonna fall here. Even gonna destroy the gate itself, and the fight in the middle is also still continuing. Another Entomb, another Karrigan combo, and another kill. They get 2 kills out of this. Get wrecked. Now, Varian makes it out, but look how many gems were lost to them now. Yeah, look at the difference in gems between the two teams. They lost pretty much 40-50 gems on all of this. So it is glorious. Let's take another look at that fight. So over there in the middle, there it comes. Entomb is dropped first. Karrigan with a combo. Bam. Then Jaina unleashes the damage. And they can kill 2 very easily and get another turn-in right afterwards. So 2 turn-ins in a row now for the red team. 4 kills to 1. They're just looking great on this. Back-to-back big boy plays by them. Going full EP in value here. And yeah, that's definitely going to put them in the driver's seat for map number 2. Or at least it should. If they can get another kill, I mean, now they even run a talent advantage, but imagine them getting another kill here. And Leo has his Entomb back. Leo has been crushing these Entombs, and he has another one. He's currently down at the bottom of the map. Top side, by the way. Somebody has to defend this. Yeah, and quickly at that, by the way, or your keep is gonna suffer. So, now... what else here? We have the attack still coming in the middle, down at the bottom of the map. Leo is even proxying a wave in the back and has all of this low. Max Passion, he still has the jump. Now the Entomb could actually work for them. And, well, doesn't hit it. Alright. Doesn't go for the Entomb. The arrow, on the other hand, that one connected. The ring is out too. Karrigan is alive, gets the Chrysalis here. Now the Entomb comes through, and Hunter Orc falls as a result. And he might not be the only one. They're going in deep. They're taking down Varian. And now they, oh my god, kill Urel and secure the 28 gems that she was holding. Guys, it is a disaster right now. Absolute disaster for Team Skogh. The fight at the bottom, not only does Dynouh complete his quest, but they're now taking the fort in the middle, the fort at the bottom apart. They got the kills. There's 7 kills to 1. A 2-level lead. I don't know what's going on today. Maybe Dynouh has a hot date or something. He swiped right in Tinder and got lucky or something, because he wants to end this quickly. Not only the series against Ultralisk earlier, but now in the grand final, they're also not wasting any time. I mean, maybe it's not Dynouh, maybe it's Rutsu or Captain Rex, like, I don't know, but something's going on here. They are just crushing it. This is pretty impressive. Again, these two went to map number 5 in the winner bracket final, and Skogh's team took it. So, just for context. And now we are likely looking at a 2-0 lead. Now, of course, we're not quite there yet, don't get me wrong. You can salvage games like this. But given the fact that they have only turned in once on the blue team and pretty much have lost all of their gems, that is, yeah, kind of rough. Because gems are your ticket back. If you got the gems, that's the ticket back into the game. Now they're going full Admiral Akbar at the top lane. It's a trap! But nobody's falling for it. Blue team isn't interested. They're like, nah, we're good. We're good. You're not going to take this one. It's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. So, yeah. They are finally starting it. Finally trying to go for it here. And, yeah, this is going to be a boss that will go straight for the top keep. And with level 16, they're going to take it. The painful spikes. So apparently somebody sharpened them indeed. And we got the numbing blast. Yeah, and there's the boss. Boss and web beavers. Jeez, the amount of map control that they currently have. They can literally sync everything. At this point, you're asking yourself more so, can they end the game here than can they kill a keep? Because the keep is definitely going to get destroyed. So, yeah, this is just insane. I have no idea what happened to Dynouh's team from last time they played in the winner bracket final, but they are just on a completely different level right now, and it's really impressive to watch. Leo is escorting lanes at the bottom, in the middle, through a little bit deeper. Up at the top, as already mentioned, this keep has absolutely no chance. Doesn't stand a prayer. They don't even have to keep Johanna here. It's not even needed. So they can instead start to attack the middle. There's still that talent advantage. Bot lane, Urel is now taking care of this, but even here needs to be very, very careful. And after the first keep has fallen, here comes the ring. Varian! Varian is dead. Varian is gone. Now they zone them away from the keep. The first one has been dropped. The second one is gonna fall as well. Still no level 16 in sight for Team Skogh, and they are losing way too much ground here. Instead of going for the core directly, they're actually working through the bot lane a bit. Just trying to escape here, get some extra damage in on that final keep, but losing this much infrastructure is, of course, a huge setback. And it's a 4 versus 5 as well. Varian is still dead, so they're playing this without their tank. They can't really do a whole lot. Red team is playing it safe, better safe than sorry, and is moving back here. And then that happens. Yep, Urel gets caught, and he's in real trouble. Tries to get away here. Entomb not ready, but the slows are. Don't even have to play for this right now. But thankfully for them, they get a kill against Jojo thanks to Gul'dan and his Sphere. Nice. Gul'dan gets his ult through. They get a kill, but Galflow! That's gonna hurt. Yeah, goodbye. Maze to the face. Leoric swinging for the fences. Oh, and the arrow narrowly missing the target. So yeah, it's rough. Blue team needs a bit of a miracle here. They need lots of kills. And well, to be fair, they get 1, but then they lose 2 in return. So after Leo gets killed, he's ghosting around a little bit and using his trait actively. And the blue team not only loses gems, but also Urel and Varian. So it's not like the situation is getting any better for them. We had already 3 turn-ins for Team Dynouh. 3. And they are much, much closer to a 4th turn-in than Team Skogh is to their 2nd. That's where we are right now. It's bananas. It really is. Jaina, look how far out she is. Like, they are pretty much looking at Jaina and like, that has to be bait. That has to be bait. They know that Dynouh is a master baiter. So they're just saying, okay, he can't be alone there. There's a trap waiting for us somewhere. and they're just letting him slide, but allow him to push that lane out further. Now we have level 20. Ring gets upgraded into Cold Snap. We get the double Ancestral with the Farseer's Blessing, the Bolt, and also, more importantly, Buried Alive right here. So yeah, here's the moment. You can get that turn in just a few seconds. You have an opportunity for boss in another minute and a half. Could always try to push through with level 20 and just use that advantage. So that's quite a bit that they can do here. Dynouh turns in the 11 that he has. That brings them up to 50. They are 15 short. And then we're going to get the, I would say, final wave of the game. Skogh's team is obviously just trying to get to level 20. I mean, they're desperately trying to buy themselves some time, but there's none of that happening. The ring connects. The cooldown reduction is also going to kick in a little bit. Here comes the arrow, the fight, and Gul'dan is dead again. Gul'dan is dead, and well, he's not the only one. Skogh is gone, Varian is about to fall, Kerrigan drops him any second, and Max Passion is also caught on the left. Actually, Skogh survives a little bit longer than I expected. Kor's getting attacked now too, but he does a pretty decent job running away from all of this. He's protected, by the way, and finally falls, but guess what? So does the Khor. GG, a 2-0 advantage for Team Dynouh in the grand final. Momentum isn't really going well for Skogh's team. So third time's the charm, that's at least what they are hoping for. They still have a couple of maps to recover. This is a best of 7 after all, so if they follow the script perfectly, then it's going to be a 3-0 for Team Dynouh, and then they start the reverse sweep and win the series. But yeah, all jokes aside, this obviously isn't really going according to plan for the blue team. They came out of the winner bracket, they were the one to send Team Dynouh into the losers bracket, and now they're 0-2, so things are getting very dangerous for them. Banning Vala makes a lot of sense when Infernal Shrines is our third map. 20 heroes are unavailable, they have been played already, cannot be played again. And Infernal Shrines is also a map where Dynouh previously showed Vala. They played this Uther Skogh combo with her. That's not available any longer because Skogh got already played, so there's at least some good news on that account. But Skogh's team has to do something. If you fall behind 0-3, it's already bad enough in a best of 5 series when you have to go up against 3 match points on your opponent's side. But if it's 4, you're in for some painful games. Now, we'll see what they can pull off here now on Infernal Shrines. Obviously a little bit of a different map. It's also very heavily reliant on wave clear again, particularly on the Shrine. Hammer gets banned. A lot of the bans here make perfect sense of what they're trying to avoid from happening. Other heroes that we could see, Malthael, Sonya, all side laners that make a lot of sense given the circumstances, given the objective on Infernal Shrines. But on the front line, we get Diablo. Not really surprised there either. It's one of his best maps. The tank is just glorious in of itself, but on this map even more so, he excels, and a good player can just body them. And to be absolutely blunt, if I'm not completely mistaken, when Skogh played it in the winner bracket final against Dynouh, he absolutely destroyed Dynouh's team with it. He murdered them. If they can do that again here, and just gain some confidence from that going forward in the series, there's a chance to bring this back. But yeah, it will be difficult considering how much on a roll Dynouh's team is right now. Brightwing gets picked, and of course Maiev, and Rutzo Maiev is a beast as well. So yeah, he is a beast. We get Tracer and we get Anduin, so not only do you have a Light Bomb engaged theoretically with either Diablo or with Tracer, but you also have, in addition to that, the ability to allow Diablo to be even more aggressive, so Anduin can save him all the time. So this is a very, very good opening if you're trying to be aggressive and really try to take control of the game. But you have Maiev against you, you have Brightwing against you, so that's CC that's already coming in, Disc that's going to be thrown out, Brightwing with Poly, the Tether. Yeah, there are a lot of good tools against them as well. And a lot of course, going to hinge on Gavlo and his ability to apply pressure. So we'll see how this is going to go for Tracer. But yeah, I feel this is a bit of a do or die moment. We've seen comebacks in best of 7s. We've seen it happen. After an 0-3, teams have turned it around in the past. But not easy. Uther gets banned. Simple reasoning behind it. You can play Uther as a main tank. This would have been a good example. You get the added stun against Tracer. You can even play with the Divine Storm if you want to. You have a double support. Can go for hyper carry and keep that alive. So, yeah. But now the double pick, and that is going to tell us a bit of what Team Dynouh is up their sleeves here. They won on Braxis, they won on Tomb, now they come in with Greymane against Tracer, and we get Mal'Ganis, also difficult to kill. So, yeah. Mal'Ganis definitely could get tough for them. Going full sleeper setup against everybody, all the time. Okay. Now here it is. Skogh's team, in the third game, they gotta change something. So we got them with Tracer, we got them with Anduin. Diablo for Skogh was always a staple in the team. But right now we have Sonya, as expected, and we get Tychus. So Bishop's going for Tychus, can rely on Odin when we're going into fights over the Punisher. And the Quasar, he's still missing. He's going to be side laning for the team. Going up against Sonya, of course. One of the best side layers. And we get Imperius. And therefore another stun and another damage source for Team Dynouh. Bit of a moment of truth. It's not match point yet. We are going to game number 3. Infernal Shrines is the map. Let's go. Skogh against Dynouh, 0-2. The score in the best of 7 in the grand final. For the blue team, we now have Max Passion on Sonya. Max Passion on Max Hopium. Skogh on Diablo. We get Hunter Orc on Anduin, Bishops on Tychus, and Gavlo on Tracer. On the right side of the map, we got Dynouh's team with the man himself on Greymane. We got Rutsu on Maiev, Kettenrax on Brightwing. Johan on Mal'Ganis, and Quasar with Imperius, going for the Consuming Flame on level 1. But yes, we're off to the races. This is the third map in a row that Dynouh would of course love to log in with this, boys. 3 times the charm. This is what Team Skogh keeps telling themselves here. And they set up a trap at the top. The bad news is I don't think anybody's going to fall for that. They were obviously hoping to surprise the side laner. But I really don't see it, and they found Imperius. Brightwing is immediately there, and instead it was Diablo for just a moment that became the target. Now thanks to Anduin they could pull him out there, but they got some easy free damage on the mid tower and were able to take it down to 50%. Despite the fact they didn't get a kill, this is still pretty alright for them. So getting some structural damage in for free is pretty good. But yeah, either way, we have up at the top now, Quasar doing his thing or two, and hello, what? Sonya gets murdered in the middle, as down at the bottom of the map, we have at least the neutral camp taken. The problem is that even with they don't have it yet, it's actually going to be stolen. They're going to lose the camp and they might lose some heroes. No, this is like worst case scenario into this game. They lose the... Oh my god. The camp stolen, 2 heroes dead, tower and gate in the middle have already been damaged. And boy, is that a shitty start into game 3. That is not looking good at all. I mean, again, very early still, so it's not like this will set them back by too much, but it will set them back enough that if it continues at pace, level 7 will kick in a lot earlier for them during the first objective and give them a lead on Punisher number 1. That's a problem. That's really a problem. On the first objective, you're fighting over level 7. Each team wants to get level 7 early so that they have a lead in talents when they're fighting for the Punisher. And given what we just now seen here, this is a huge issue. All 3 bottom mercenary camps have now gone over to Team Dynouh, so they have a big lead there. They got 2 kills on top of that. If they are not inting right now and they really cover their bases, they will have a very early level 7, a lead into the first shrine, and could then walk away with the first Punisher and capitalize on that. So right now they are looking stellar here. And yeah, it is definitely going to happen. Look at this. More than like 6 1/3 against level 5. Oh, of course they're going to get that early level 7. And even at the top lane, they're now getting value for free. You have right here, Johan is anchoring the play, making sure that nobody can move in. Max Passion is low already, and this gate has nearly been destroyed. Tracer's zipping around Rutsu at the bottom of the map. The shrine is active. There's even a tether against Gavlo that connected. And while Greymane is starting to get the lead for the red team with that level 7, they are also still doing structural damage all over the map right now. Start to get everyone to the top, and yeah, Brightwing at least gets hit. Can they get a kill here? I doubt it, honestly. 5 stacks, but level 7, an entire level lead on top of that. Sonya in trouble, and she is gone. Up here, it's the death of Andun that we're witnessing next, and yeah, it is a disaster. Disastrous start into game number 3. Wow. Yeah, that hurts. That is rough. More than a level ahead, 4 kills ahead. They take the wall. Punisher is getting attacked now as well. Well, not the Punisher, but they're working for the Punisher. They're going for the objective. And before level 7 even hits for Team Skogh, they are probably going to lose that second tower at the top, which means that Punisher is very likely going to make a play for the fort with the team. That's really rough. Really, really rough. Okay, so with that, we have the camp getting attacked here pretty quickly, and yep, there it is. We have at least the camp taken, but they're even waiting it out. They want level 10 with this. They're waiting it out with the Punisher. They're not trying to get the last one. They're trying to force the blue team into a fight at the top, and in the meantime, they're trying to get experience so that they can get their own level 10 and then make this attack even so much more dangerous. So, yeah, this is not looking good at all. Dynouh is maximizing everything here. It's not only that they get a few kills and then, you know, continue to play the game. The big problem is simply that once that they are ahead, they're really trying to squeeze everything they can out of the situation. And you can see it here in perfect clarity right in front of you. They delayed the Punisher long enough that now with that push, they're going to get level 10 abilities. This fort doesn't stand a chance. And then in addition to that, they can play this out further at the bot lane, in the mid lane, and get a bit more damage there as well. So, yeah. Nicely done. Really well done by them. For the blue team to come back, they first have to get level 10. That's the first thing that has to happen. And yeah, they're going to take quite some time in order to get there. And that is all time that can be used by Dynouh's team to dominate the map further, to go for structures in the middle. So I'm honestly not so sure anymore that Skogh's team is just having a bad day here. I mean, I think this plays a bit of a role too, but if we're honest about it, it just seems like Dynouh is with his boys on a completely different level today. When you compare the performance here to what they've shown in the winner bracket, it's not that they were bad there, but this is just so much crisper in terms of how they're playing this. Again, Skogh bodied them with Diablo in the winner bracket final. He absolutely murdered them, but right now he just can't do anything. Every single time that he starts to move out here, it's a problem. Now, they are about to hit level 10, so maybe then they can make a move themselves, but this bottom fort is down to 50% HP, and they barely get level 10 in time to fight this out. But also, Sonya isn't here, so this is a 5 versus 4. With Imperius now coming in from the top, he wants to get the connect, does miss it against Tracer. Here comes the combo now, and all of a sudden, Dibbles is fighting back. Nice move by Anduin with the light bomb, but Dequaza still walks away from the fight. The fort is gone, and Dequaza still made it out, and they turn it on a dime against Sonya as she appears. Holy hell. So many close calls in that last battle. First it was Imperius that was just stun-locked so hard. Diablo, Apocalypse, then they come in with the light bomb stun. But he still got out thanks to Brightwing helping him where she could. And then they turn it on Sonya and she also makes it out. Super close calls by the teams, but nobody dying in that fight. I mean, nobody going down there. And 2 forts are now gone, so it's 5 kills to 0. It's more than a level lead, and we have 2 forts destroyed. Not only the problem of passive experience now increasing for Team Dynouh, but also on top of that, them reaching level 13 for the next objective. It is highly unlikely that Team Skogh is going to get level 13 in time. I don't think it's going to happen. I've been wrong on this before. But given the timings of when they picked it earlier, there is a talent lead that they could play through. Unless, of course, there's a team fight and a few kills are coming in for Team Skogh. Then that would change the equation very quickly. But the objective should be announced soon. They might be able to get there. They're going to have 30 seconds after the objective gets announced, so maybe they have enough time with Sonya and Tracer splitting out to the auxiliary lanes to do their thing. But with them splitting off to get the experience and make sure that they're not fighting with a talent disadvantage around the next objective, they're also giving up space in the middle of the map that is immediately being used by the red team to try and make a play there. Diablo, again, Light Bomb also, Greymin in the back, nearly taking out Tigers. The fight not over yet though, they're still trying to get control, and they rip Tigers to shreds. Dynouh is the one moving in and tearing him apart. They get the kill here. Well done, and now maybe a follow-up with a tether on Diablo. Skogh is dead, top camp is pushing, and Brightwing made it out. How are they never dying? How is this a thing? There's the kill against Tracer. 3 heroes are down. The top wall is getting destroyed. All of the forts are gone. And this is just an utter disaster. An utter disaster right now. Super impressive what we're seeing from Dynouh there. On a completely different level today. This tournament has been raging on for weeks now. The grand final, it is utter domination from Team Dynouh. They're going through the blue team like hot butter through cheese at this point. Just murdering them. The control is insane. And the amount of times that they walked away with pretty much negative hit points is just something to behold. 10 kills to 0, a 3-level advantage, keep and forts destroyed. And now they're aiming for the objective that they can take next. This is quite the performance that we're seeing from them here. Finally, the red team is fighting against an opponent that has even talents as the blue team picks up their level 13. But of course, it's really a question here also of falling behind by a talent consistently. That snowball that was initially started turned into an avalanche and they're playing it well. But here's the moment. Maybe now. Dynouh, disc on Brightwing. They're trying to finally take Greymin down. He's alive again. Like how? Please, how? Why are they not dying? Why is nobody there dying? This is insane. They were so close to getting the kill. They even got... They got everything! And then he just walks away like it's a stroll in the park. Oh my god. Incredible. Another Punisher about to be taken. They're just invulnerable. They're invincible. They just can't die. Red team looks at us like, nah, we tried this dying shit that everybody's been talking about. Didn't like it. We're not gonna do that anymore. Don't understand why people do that. So let's just do it without dying. 16 to 13, again the talent advantage. Yes, there is of course a snowball aspect to all of this. If you always have to fight with the talent disadvantage, at some point they're gonna roll over you. And it's not for lack of trying. It's not like Skogh's team is playing this bad or anything. They made the right choices. They went for kills, they just could not get them. If they get the kill there, it's a completely different story. But this is now 5 times in a row that the red team just walked away from the battle. Yeah, another tether. Sonya is already dead. Punisher comes in. The red team is low, but who cares? Diablo gone, and he's down for the count. This is the second keep that falls. And with that, they can go for the core and for the 3-0. They pop them like pimples, one after another. They just disappear from the map. We're 11 minutes in, and it's going to be a 3-0 lead in the best of 7. Unbelievable. I mean, unless Skogh's team has predicted all of this is now going to start the reverse sweep. I mean, holy hell, Dynouh, calm down, bro. What's happening here? What a performance by the red team as they lock in a 3-0 lead in the best of 7 series. GG. Match point. Game number 4. Guys, yeah, it is a bit bananas here now. All of a sudden, we have a 3-0 lead. And I am honestly a little bit blown away. Because the way that Dynouh's team is currently dominating all of this is very impressive. And I have to say it again. They faced off against each other in the winner bracket final. It was a 5-mapper. And at the end, it was Team Skogh that took Dynouh down. Now, it's a completely different flow of what we're seeing. And the amount of times on the last map in particular, Dynouh's teammates just walked away is incredible. the coordination that they had and the way they were controlling this was just out of this world. So mad respect for them and how they played. And I honestly feel bad a bit for Skogh and his team, because they had such a fantastic tournament. I highlighted them over and over when they were playing in the round robin, for example, and did a great job there too. Dominated this to a large extent, and they were, for me, one of the teams that really surprised, because you look at their team and yes, all of those players, they ring a bell. They don't have any players where you say like, hey, who is that guy? I never heard of him. Maybe, but if you're following the European scene, you should be familiar with most of them. But then on the other side, Captain Rex just won at the Nations Cup with Germany. Rutsu, Dequaza, Dynouh. So like, I don't have to introduce any of these guys. So there was a huge gap. So Skogh was a big surprise for me with the way that they performed. And then they made it straight to the grand final. A bit of a Cinderella story. And now Dynouh just came through the losers bracket with his team and just said, no, we're going to take that. And we're going to murder you. And don't forget, they played a series already today. They played against Ultralisk. And they didn't drop a map there either. So now they won 6 maps in a row already. 6 in a row. And they are hoping to close it out without even dropping a single map. So this is the moment right now where they could make that happen. If the blue team, on the other hand, is somehow able to turn this around, whew, that would be insane. That would be pretty sick. So yeah, Lucio gets picked, and we get a Falstad together with that. And we'll see. And by the way, now that we're having Lucio and him picking, yeah, Captain Rex didn't win the Nations Cup, my bad, but yeah, still. The point still stands. So, Max Passion for Dehaka. And yeah, the blue team, they gotta do something here. Honestly, I like that they have a global, so that is going to help them. Falstad on the other side is going to mirror this a little bit. Now we get Bishops on Zeratul. You know, the last time that they actually picked him, that didn't go too badly for them. So Bishops with Zeratul can create a lot of pressure, and I would love to see them do well with him. Especially since they now also have Stitches, so they don't even have to go into Might of the Narazim, which I still kind of expect against the Bird and against Lucio. But they could also technically try to just use the Void Prison, for example, just zone off the opponent a little bit and get that done. But yeah, Zeratul is taken. Now again, the quick reminder that heroes that have been played cannot be played again. That means that now 30 heroes are not in the pool anymore. But as you can already tell from the heroes that are picked, it is still a fairly normal draft. I mean, we're not going too crazy here. Talking about going crazy though, this is after all Alderac Pass. You could go Vikings here. We've seen Vikings, we've seen Abathar, seen some Moro. Still a couple of choices that you can make where you can try and throw a curveball. Oh, Arthas and Artanis. Okay, so again, we're not getting too cocky just yet, but you can see that Dynouh, they think, "Go boys, we've most likely got this in the bag." So game number 4, they're busting out Arthas, they're busting out Artanis. And they still have Rutsu for the final pick. So there's a lot of control that they have. And particularly Zeratul is not really going to like this too much. But he's still going to try for Falstad and also for Lucio. We get Whitemane for the heals. And as our final pick, it is Gavlo. Alright, on Sergeant Hammer. Yeah, it's Hammer time. Hammer time, the Hawk on the side lane, Zeratul roaming a little bit. I personally love, by the way, when Arthas gets played, but I also think this is already indicating just a little bit that they feel pretty confident right now. And they have very good reason to, of course. I mean, after that performance, it's not only the score, but the way that they achieved it. They're going into a triple frontline now, adding Thrall as well, and adding more trouble for the red team's assassins. So, ladies and gentlemen, match point number 1, it's Alderac Pass. Let's go. The grand final continues with Skogh against Dynouh. Game number 4, match point number 1. Skogh on Stitches for the blue team. They gotta dig deep. They really gotta dig deep now. They have to win 3 in a row at this point. 4 in a row if they want to decide this tournament in their favor. I mean, second place is still great if they only get that, but of course you want to take it all now. Bishops on Zeratul, Max Passion on Dehaka, and we get Gavlo on Sergeant Hammer as on the right side. Dynouh and his boys are willing to experiment a little bit more with their heroes now. We have Dynouh himself on Artanis, Dequaza with a Trash Light Lightning going straight into Thrall, Rutsu on Falstad, Johan on Arthas, and Captain Rex is playing Lucio. So, let's see what they can do. The fact alone that Thrall has gone straight away into Trash Lightning also tells you that they are definitely willing to risk a bit more here. Which isn't necessarily a bad idea, by the way. You can definitely start to risk a few things if you're this far ahead. I mean, essentially it is 4 times match point from their perspective. So you can take some more risks as all of this continues. But then again, they have good tools against a lot of the heroes on the other side. And on level 1, we're now getting the Frost Presence from our boy Arthur's top side. Dynouh, a little bit of a swapperoo. He's going toe-to-toe with the Haka now. Of course, he's the one that went straight in for Artanis. That doesn't really come as a surprise either. And yeah, pokes are coming for Thrall. But the problem for him is he's not going to get too many stacks just yet. Later, he's going to have an easier time, but in this 1v1 here, he's not going to get anything for Crash Lightning. This is not your typical map for that talent. You have less self-sustain on the lane, but he has, of course, 2 others at his side that he can fight with. So, as we are looking at bigger battles, then he will stack this more quickly. And it is essentially a question of whether or not he's able to get to level, the thing completely stacked. If you do, the amount of damage that you're going to get with this is going to get absolutely nasty. You can just poke them into oblivion from a distance time and time again, and it's really nice and beneficial. But yeah, we're not there yet, of course. He's going to take quite some time in order to get that done. So far, he has only 2 stacks, so still a long way to go for him. Now, a couple of folks from Skogh, they have not too many things that can really isolate a target properly, unless we're really going to see Void Prison, which honestly I doubt. So I don't think they're going to zone them that way. 3 stacks by now for Thrall. The Quasar's going to play it slow throughout all of this. The hooks are easily dodged, at least for now. But once that level 13 in particular is going to kick in and the extra range comes into play, things will shift. And we are, of course, also looking at Sergeant Hammer. Ooh, and Dynouh, careful, my friend. Yeah, bit close there. They knew, of course, where Zeratul is positioned, because if not for that, then this could have gone real badly. That could have been a problem. So, yeah. But here in the middle, we have the attack continuing. 0 kills so far. Nothing too crazy happened. Outside of the fact that we actually have now a couple of decent stacks already for Thrall without an objective having been fought over. So Thrall is sitting at 6 stacks already. Now, this isn't anything insane, but this is still good enough to say, like, alright, we're here. They get a kill on Zeratul too, so that's first blood in game number 4. So they are definitely going to try to crush this out with a 4-0 victory. These boys, they have no time to waste today. And that first tower at the bottom of the map already goes down. They have absolutely no respect for Stitches down here. They really don't care. Sergeant Hammer doesn't have the mobility either, needs to wait for level 7. So they break through the gate, take this one easily, and in the meantime, in the middle, the attack just continues here too. So they keep pushing it. Bit of a leading experience, nothing crazy yet. We have also a slight shift in focus on the side of Arthas, which I actually like. So he went into Death Lord and then into the Immortal Coil. When it comes to sustain that you're going to get with that, and also slightly small sniper abilities, this is a really nice tool to have. If you don't need the full control that you're going to get with other tools in your arsenal, then this is a very solid build for sustain. And that's exactly what they're going for here. So right now, we have only on level 1 the Frost Presence, which is going to help them to deal with Sergeant Hammer a bit. And Gavlo, of course, now on level 7, now he has the mobility. They also got Intercession, so a lot of tools to keep everybody alive here. Whiteman in particular can be great when you are looking to keep an individual target alive. But yeah, at the top, they are going for the objective. And they are off to a decent start, gaining a couple of extra seconds over the opponent here. So any second that they can get in right now is already a bit of a win. But the problem is Rutsu gets blown to pieces, and this is really the big issue. Falstad, he is the weak link in their lineup, for sure. It's a big issue because with all of the heroes on the blue team side, but Zeratul in particular, you can really, really murder them. Johan, talking about murdering things, he dies as well. So now the blue team with 2 kills to 1 and getting a bit of a start here that I personally kind of like. They're fighting back a bit. They're not falling too far behind. 10 stacks for Thrall. Falstad is back to business. They're still trying to reclaim this and should be able to, as Dehaka is now moving down to the bottom of the map. So he's controlling the side lane and the experience, but they're getting annoying again. So they're back to their old shenanigans and are starting to channel this one out. Gets interrupted, thankfully, by Whitemane, so there's that. But they apply continuous pressure. Bishops, he is at 11 stacks now on his level 1 and went straight into Wormhole. So a lot of mobility now for Zeratul, and Dehaka is in the meantime getting value at the bottom of the map. So the blue team, not lazy, starting to take structures out too. And the Howling Blast misses. So the attacks keep coming. Level 10 also very soon gonna be part of the game, and now both of them get it at exactly the same time. Sundering is in, Might of the Nerazim, and we don't get Gorge, we actually go for Putrid Bile in this case. So not trying for any isolation plays, but at least instead more zone control for them. And it is the bubble, the sound barrier for Lucio. And they get the objective. So the pressure has paid off. They get the objective, and 14 stacks now for Thrall. Sundering is out, but Gavlo saw it coming and used his siege tactics right away. The problem is Stitches. Stitches might get body blocked too hard here. They're trying for him. Syndragosa! It's dragon time. There is a bit of a troll element in all of this, obviously. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're throwing the game away with the trash comp. They are definitely picking a few picks I would not see them take here if this was a tie. If this was a 2-2 score right now and this is game 5, then I think we would see a different draft from Team Dynouh. But this can still win, and this is still dangerous and powerful. If you can make nice plays happen with Syndragosa and push through a fort, especially with the objective going your way, you can do a lot here. In addition to that, you have Thrall that will, as it seems, eventually complete his level 1 quest and therefore get a huge amount of poke for the team, and globals are also part of all of this. So they might be a bit on the gimmicky side with some of the things that they're currently trying to do here, but this is still exceptionally dangerous and they're not throwing this away by any means. They're going to try and win this and do their thing. So yeah, it's all the hammer play that we're going to get from their opponents though. And 2 of those forts have now started to take some solid damage, particularly one at the bottom of the map. Has some issues, nearly destroyed. But up here they go now for Dynouh. Yeah, Sundering, I guess, zones them away. They were forcibly hoping to turn it, but couldn't quite. But it is still level 12.5 versus 12.5, so very, very close when we're talking about the actual experience here. And now they're going for a structural lead thanks to the fort that they are destroying at the bottom of the map. And for Thrall, still that quest. Still looking to complete this. Actually going for Whitemane here, and they get her. Whitemane is down. Whitemane eliminated, so they get the kill here. And now they are going again for Stitches, even lock him down for just a moment. They won't be able to get another kill just yet, but they have taken the lead in experience. And thanks to Whitemane being eliminated, it means that the boss is pretty free at the bottom. There's nothing that the blue team can do without having a support here. Stitches could, I guess, technically try and get a hook, but even that's not happening. So instead what they're attempting is to get a boss themselves. Their Quasar already sees that, so he knows what's going on. And Falstad could technically fly top, and they could make a play here. They could really try to get there in time. The hook hits, though! Yeah, died for a stack. That's what's happening here. He wanted that stack for Trash Lightning, and then he got hooked and killed. So that shuts down any attempt or any idea of potentially moving towards the top and stealing that boss away and force a fight there. So while the blue team needs to send someone back to safeguard the bottom keep as the boss is now moving in, at the top at least there will be some structural pressure thanks to the fort getting attacked. So yeah, Zeratul still playing this out with Dynouh. Now the Haka is here as well. But that means that they're also using a lot of time where the boss is attacking the keep. So the longer Dynouh can play this one out, particularly now with Falstad, the better for them. And this is getting a little bit shitty for the blue team. Because now Lucio is saying hello too. And that's the keep. That's the keep. Just like that. Level 13 for both teams. Yep, the keep is gone. And we are 10 minutes in. 10 minutes into the first match point of this series, and they just dropped the first keep. Now at the top, yes, the fort has fallen, but that is a trade that I take any day of the week. I mean, it's not even close. Keep for fort? Of course we're gonna go for that. So yeah, they're looking really good again. Especially since they are so much closer to level 16. Skogh, they have to really dig deep now. This is their last chance. It is their last chance, their last opportunity here. And they're doing what they can, but boy, oh boy, are they in trouble in this series. And I honestly don't know if they've already given up a little bit, or if they are just still believing, okay, let's go, boys. Let's take this. We can still turn it around. We need a bit of momentum. We need 1 or 2 fights to go our way and finally also get a bit lucky here, and then we can turn it, or if they've already mentally have given up on this. The hook is there. They go for Johan. The control around the camp is in the hands of the... Well, actually, it's still a battle between the two. I mean, such a hammer, obviously, with the mobility is still there. But they're going for Stitches, isolate him a little bit. And Thrall says hello, and that's not good. Putrid Bile had to be used, but he's completely blocked here. And gets out, barely able to escape, but everybody else is also running. The Haka has not joined them just yet, and Stitches just gets out on his last leg. There's level 16, Falstad gets hooked and escapes, but this fort cannot run, unlucky, and gets destroyed. 4 down, only 1 remains, and they get the Haka. The Haka is gone. We have 18 stacks for Thrall. Not as many as I thought he would have at this point. In that fight, he pretty much got nothing. But they're still chasing. Zeratul comes in, wants the kill. Didn't get it. Instead, he dies. So Zeratul is now also gone. That's a 5 versus 3 on the map. They can easily go for the objective now. And it's just a disaster. 4 kills to 3. And they're fighting with an arm tied behind their back. The only good news was that so many heroes on the red team side were low and had to retreat a bit. But now they're coming back. We got pulverized now. But yeah, this is just another objective for Team Dynouh. And again, they've taken one of the keeps out already. So they are going to aim for the mid lane now. They're going to aim for the top, for the fort that is still standing there, and it is just a nightmare for the blue team. At least they have even talents. So this is the one good news. They have even talents. That's something that they can use. There's not going to be a talent advantage like we saw multiple times on Infernal Shrines. At least not now. Before level 20, we're going to see even talent battles between the two teams. And yeah, top lane gets pressured. Zeratul locked into a 1v1 with Artanis. And as the bot lane and the mid lane are pushing, they are now using Falstad to pressure through the top for the last remaining fort. The battle down here also continues. Thrall looking for the next hit. Sundering out. Syndragosa also in. They're coming straight for that keep here. Top fort will be destroyed for sure. But as Thrall is getting a few more stacks together, they're breaking through that wall. Just melting it. And take down that keep too. Stands absolutely no chance. And this is now a situation where you can win the game. They removed 2 of the armor shields on the core already. So this is winnable. They go for bishops. They are trying for some kills. They lose Artanis. So he's gone, but can they get a bit more? The core is dropping low, and it's dropping low quickly. If they can get the kill on Stitches, who's walking away from the fight, then there was an opportunity, but they haven't taken this yet. Whitemane at least is dead, so she's gone. Whitemane down, Zeratul down, Falstad down, the core at 10,000 HP. Game's not over yet. What about Arthas? He falls too, and they defend. They hold. Team Skogh. Team Skogh. They hold. They hold. And this is gonna be a full HP core in just a little bit. And up at the top, keep still stands. Wasn't able to go completely through. World Breaker is in for Dequaza. He's at 21 stacks now. We got the Wind Tunnel on the side of Falstad, and of course it is absolute 0 for Arthas. Yeah, the damage output, when you're looking at Thrall, for example, he's currently at 46,000, so he's nowhere near what Sergeant Hammer is chipping in on the blue team side, but he is still easily top damage for the red team. And this is without him completing the quest. Now, obviously, this is accumulated damage. So once that you're starting to get stacks, this will boost your damage as is. But the real power spike comes after you complete your quest, and then you're just absolutely crushing it. Both teams on level 20, both teams with 6 kills, and now the chance to see if maybe another boss is possible down at the bottom. They go at the top for Dehaka, and it seems like they're just going to be willing to trade bosses. They go to the top now, and if they can get this one, that means they're gonna get that keep. Gast is in, and that's a kill. That's a kill right there. Max Passion is max dead, and this is a boss for each team. Mid lane push, Zeratul is dealing with it right now. Down at the bottom of the map, yes, they're gonna get this one. But the bad news is there's still forts on the bot lane to be dealt with. So a huge problem for them. And up top side, here we go now. 6 kills to 7, and now with the boss they can remove the final armor shield. And honestly, once that you're playing on Alterac Pass with the core, not even relying on a single shield any longer, that thing just falls apart so quickly. It is bonkers. So they're trying to get some damage and maybe an easy kill on Falstad, which so far isn't really happening here. But this is a really dangerous spot to be in for the blue team, particularly... Oh no! Particularly now! Sergeant Hammer is gone. The problem is that Dehaka has also been killed previously, so it was right from the get-go a 4 versus 5, and this is looking more and more like game. Stitches dies, and so do the hopes and dreams of Team Skogh to not only turn the series around, but to at least get a single victory. All the armor shields are removed, and this is a game. What a performance by Team Dynouh. Absolutely impressive play. 5-man team wipe as Team Dynouh crowns themselves the champion of the RavenCourt tournament with a flawless record in the loser bracket final and the grand final. Chapeau and congratulations.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.